Day 47 of reading through the scriptures. We're going to start in Genesis 47. Then Joseph went and spoke to Pharaoh and said, "My father and my brothers, their flocks and their herds, and all that they possess have come from the land of Canaan. And see, they are in the land of Goshen." And he took 5 men from among his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" And they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers." And they said to Pharaoh, "We have come to dwell in the land because there is no pasture for your servants' flocks, for the scarcity of food is severe in the land of Canaan. And now, please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." And Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Mitzrayim is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best of the land. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen. And if you know of capable men among them, then make them chief herdsmen over my livestock." And Joseph brought in his father Yaakov and set him before Pharaoh. And Yaakov blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Yaakov, "How old are you?" And Yaakov said to Pharaoh, "The days of the years of my sojournings are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not reached the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their sojournings." And Yaakov blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them a possession in the land of Mitzrayim, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided his father and his brothers and all his father's household with bread for the mouth of the little ones. Now there was no bread in all the land, because the scarcity of food was very severe. And the land of Mitzrayim and all the land of Canaan became exhausted from the scarcity of food. And Joseph gathered up all the silver that was found in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan, for the grain which they bought. And Joseph brought the silver into Pharaoh's house. And when the silver was all spent in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan, all the Mitzrites came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence, for the silver is gone?" And Joseph said, "Give your livestock, and I give you bread for your livestock, if the silver is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for their horses, and for their flocks they owned, and for the herds they owned, and for the donkeys. Thus he fed them with bread in exchange for all their livestock that year. And when that year had ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, "We do not hide from my master that our silver is all spent, and my master also has the livestock we owned. There has not been left any before my master but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and let us and our land be servants of Pharaoh. And give us seed, and let us live and not die, and let the land not lay waste." And Joseph bought the entire land of Mitzrayim for Pharaoh, because every man of the Mitzrites sold his field, because the scarcity of food was severe upon them, and the land came to be Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he moved them into the cities, from one end of the borders of Mitzrayim to the other. And only the ground of the priests he did not buy, for the priests had from what Pharaoh gave them by law, and they ate that which Pharaoh gave them by law. Therefore they did not sell their ground. And Joseph said to the people, "Look, I have bought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Look, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And it shall be that in the harvest you shall give 1/5 to Pharaoh, and 4/5 is your own, as seed for the field, and for your food, for those of your households, and as food for your little ones." And they said, "You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the eyes of my master, and we shall become Pharaoh's servants." And Joseph made it a law over the land of Mitzrayim to this day, that Pharaoh should have 1/5, except for the ground of the priests only, which did not become Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of Goshen, and they had possessions there, and were fruitful and increased exceedingly. And Yaakov lived in the land of Mitzrayim 17 years, so the length of Yaakov's life was 147 years. And the time for Israel to die drew near, and he called his son Joseph and said to him, "Now if I have found favor in your eyes, please put your hand under my thigh and show loving commitment and truth to me. Please do not bury me in Mitzrayim, but I shall lie with my fathers, and you shall take me up out of Mitzrayim and bury me in their burial place." And he said, "I do as you have said." And he said, "Swear to me." And he swore to him, and Yisrael bowed himself on the head of the bed. It is Isaiah 47, Come down and sit in the dust, O maiden daughter of Babel. Sit on the ground without a throne, O daughter of the Kasdim. For no more do they call you tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind flour. Remove your veil, lift up the skirt, uncover the leg, pass through rivers. Let your nakedness be uncovered, let your shame be also be exposed. I take no vengeance and meet no man. Our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts, is his name, the set apart one of Israel. Sit silent and go into darkness, O daughter of Kasdim, for no more do they call you mistress of reigns. I was wroth with my people, I have profaned my inheritance, and I gave them into your hand. You showed them no compassion, and you made your yoke very heavy on the elderly. And you said, I am mistress forever, so that you did not take these matters to heart, and did not remember the latter end of them. And now hear this, you who are given to pleasures, who dwell complacently, who says in your heart, I am, and there is none but me. I do not sit as a widow, nor do I know the loss of children. Both of these come to you suddenly, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon you in completeness, because of your many witchcrafts, for your numerous great potent spells. And you have trusted in your evil, you have said, no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge have led you astray. And you have said in your heart, I am, and there is none but me. But evil shall come upon you, and you not knowing from where it arises, and trouble fall upon you, and you being unable to put it off, and ruin come upon you suddenly, which you know not. Stand now with your potent spells and your many witchcrafts in which you have labored from your youth. If so be you are able to profit, if so be you find strength. You are exhausted by your many counsels. Let the astrologers, the stargazers, and those who prognosticate by the new moons stand up and save you from what is coming upon you. See, they shall be as stubble, fire shall burn them, and they do not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There is not a coal to be warmed by, nor a fire to sit before it. So they shall be to you with whom you have labored, your merchants from your youth. They shall wander, each one his own way. There is none to save you. Psalm 47. O clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to Elohim with a voice of singing. For Yahweh Most High is awesome, a great sovereign over all the earth. He subdues people under us, and nations under our feet. He chooses our inheritance for us, the excellence of Yaakov whom he loves. Selah. Elohim shall go up with a shout, Yahweh with the voice of a shofar. Sing praises to Elohim, sing praises. Sing praises to our sovereign, sing praises. For Elohim is sovereign of all the earth. Sing praises with understanding. Elohim shall reign over the nations. Elohim shall sit on his set-apart throne. Nobles of people shall be gathered together, the people of the Elohim of Abraham. For the shields of the earth belong to Elohim. He shall be greatly exalted. Today's last chapter is Luke chapter 3. And in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, when Pontius Pilate was governor of Yehuda, and Herodes district ruler of Galilee, and his brother Philip district ruler of Yetur, and the country of Trachonitis, and Lysanias district ruler of Abilene, Hanan and Caiaphas being high priests, the word of Elohim came to Yochanan the son of Zechariah in the wilderness. And he went into all the neighborhood of the Jordan, proclaiming an immersion of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. As it has been written in the book of the words of Yeshayahu the prophet, saying, A voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare the way of Yahweh, make his path straight. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. And the crooked shall become straight, and the rough become smooth ways, and all flesh shall see the deliverance of Elohim. And he said therefore to the crowds that came out to be immersed by him, Brood of adders, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Therefore bear fruit worthy of repentance, and do not say to yourselves, We have Abraham as our father. For I say to you that Elohim is able to raise up children to Abraham from these stones. And even now the axe is laid to the root of the trees. Therefore every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. And the crowds asked him, saying, What then shall we do? And answering he said to them, Let he who has 2 undergarments share with him who has none, and let him who has food do likewise. And tax collectors also came to be immersed, and said to him, Teacher, what shall we do? And he said to them, Collect no more than what is appointed for you. And soldiers also asked him, saying, And what shall we do? And he said to them, Do not intimidate anyone or accuse falsely, and be satisfied with your pay. But as the people were in expectation, and all were reasoning in their hearts about Yochanan, whether he was the Messiah or not, Yochanan answered, saying to them all, I indeed immerse you in water, but one mightier than I is coming, whose sandal straps I am not worthy to loosen. He shall immerse you in the set-apart spirit and fire. His winnowing fork is in his hand, and he shall thoroughly cleanse his threshing floor, and shall gather the wheat into his storehouse, but the chaff he shall burn with unquenchable fire. And urging with many other words, he brought the good news to the people. And Herodias, the district ruler, being convicted by him concerning Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, and for all the wicked deeds which Herodias did, added this to them all. He locked up Yochanan in prison. And it came to be, when all the people were immersed, Yeshua also being immersed and praying, the heaven was opened, and a set-apart spirit descended in bodily form like a dove upon him. And a voice came from heaven, saying, You are my Son, the beloved, in you I did delight. And when Yeshua himself began, he was about 30 years of age, being as reckoned by law, son of Joseph, of Eli, of Mattathiah, of Levi, of Melchi, of Yana, of Joseph, of Mattathiah, of Amatz, of Nahum, of Hesli, of Nogah, of Mattathiah, of Shimi, of Joseph, of Yehuda, of Yochanan, of Raphael, of Zerubbabel, of Shealtiel, of Neri, of Melchi, of Adi, of Kosam, of El-Modam, of of Yehoshua, of Eliezer, of Yorim, of Mattathiah, of Levi, of Shimon, of Yehuda, of Yosef, of Yonam, of Eliachim, of Melea, of Mena, of Matata, maybe? Of Nathan, of David, of Yishi, of Obed, of Boaz, of Salmon, of Nachshon, of Aminadab, of Ram, of Chetzron, of Peretz, of Yehuda, of Yaakov, of Yitzhak, of Abraham, of Terah, of Nachor, of Sereg, of Ru, of Peleg, of Eber, of Selah, of Kenan, of Arphaxad, of Shem, of Noach, of Lamech, of Methuselah, of Chanach, of Yered, of Mahalalel, of Kenan, of Enosh, of Seth, of Adam, of Elohim. So some people call this the genealogy of Mary. It doesn't mention her. I believe this is the genealogy of Yosef. And it was not Yeshua's true genealogy because he was of a virgin birth. So I explained that a little more in chapter 1 of Matthew, the other genealogy. If you want to watch that sometime. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.